Good morning. I've been out picking up boxes. I just pulled back into the seed warehouse. This was a close trip. We were only about 3 miles from home, but you hear that? Well, that's no good. I picked up something. Dang it. And this is the tire that I need to change. Shoot. Okay, guess we're working on trailer tires today. Brought the trailer down to the shop here so I can work on it easier. I know that one tire is flat, but there's no weight on it, and we've got 4 tires on this side. It was fine. So we're going to go ahead and pull this off. Like I said, this one is basically bald anyway. No, it is bald. We got a little tread in a couple of spots, but it wore super uneven compared to everything else. This tire is getting there. I don't know if we have an axle alignment issue or what. The rest of the tires on the trailer all look fine, but this particular spot, not so great. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But we've also probably got close to 20,000 miles on this trailer now too. And well, original trailer tires aren't exactly super high quality. So we're going to zip these off here real quick. And then I guess I'm going to have to go make a trip to see my father-in-law. I got those tires off. I took them down to my father-in-law, and he's going to get me some. He said he'd have them tomorrow. Should be able to pick them up tomorrow afternoon, which is great. So driving back to the farm, and I was going past one of our soybean fields, and I thought, hey, I haven't looked at these beans. Let's go out and take a look, see what things look like. So this field is, this is our new farm. It's still the new farm. We tiled it last fall. It was corn last year. It was the first year we farmed it. Put tile in last fall and then worked it down and planted it to beans this spring. Now, it's going to take a couple of years before we really get this field into shape like we want it. What the heck is that? I know what that is. That's a cap off one of the seed disc openers on the bean planter. How about that? Anyway, it's going to take a little while to get this field, you know, kind of worked up and into shape and into our rotation like we want it. But the beans are here. Stand is great. They just need to grow. Yeah, they look pretty good. Got a little herbicide damage, it looks like. Crinkled up the leaves. Wonder where that came from. It's been a long time since Dad sprayed these. I wouldn't think that's still showing, but I suppose it's possible. Anyway, we've got the first full trifoliates are out here. Second ones are coming. Not unfolded yet. So V1 soybeans. Yeah, I don't like the look of that crinkled up leaves on all of this. I'll walk a little farther, see if it's more in this field or just in this spot or what's going on here. But they'll grow through it. They'll be okay. Sometimes stressing beans early in their life isn't the worst thing. Makes them yield more. Yeah, it definitely appears that it's our herbicide doing this. I've walked a ways from the truck over there, and they are all showing at least a little bit of signs of the same thing, kind of this drawstring type effect where it's pulling the leaves. I think that's from the dual. I don't know. I'm not as good at chemistry stuff and knowing the modes of actions of all the different active ingredients and what all is in what products, and there's a lot there. So anyway, it's not great to see, but the bean stand is here. They will grow through that. They're just growing sort of slow right now. So actually a little bit of rain here this week. They're calling for rain tomorrow. Would probably be pretty good for most of our crops. The wind has picked up significantly here today, this early afternoon. Like there might be something blowing up. I don't know. We don't need, well, even 2 inches of rain isn't going to hurt. I don't think we can handle that. We get more than that, then we're going to be in trouble or hurting, but we always are when we get 2+ inches of rain. So if we get half to an inch, it'd be about perfect for what we've got planted and growing, and everything looks really good. What were the chances of finding this? I mean, 32 rows on the bean planter. There's 2 of these per row. So there's 64 of them on the whole planter. My guess is there's 63 of them still on the planter. And I found this over more than 1,000 acres where it could have fallen off. That's crazy. While we're out checking fields, I thought we should actually go out and check some fields and go look at a few other ones and stuff. So right now we're standing in the very first planted cornfield. I believe it was April 24th. I'd have to double check the date, but that's got to be pretty close. This corn from the road, which is way over there and the other side of that wheat field, has looked really good. You can just see it growing almost every day. But we're going to come out here and actually look at it. Let's stage this corn. Let's see where it's at and just assess. It got windy, so I'm sorry if it's you can't hear real good, but 1, 2, 3, 4 leaf collars. Leaf 5 does not have a collar on it yet. Do you guys understand what I'm saying when I say a leaf collar? So if you look at this plant here, let's see if I can get this to focus. Here's our bottom leaf. That's 1. This one is 2. This one is 3. This one is 4. And where the leaf sheath kind of meets the leaf blade, it forms this little collar right there that goes around that stalk. And this leaf is actually attached clear down below ground on this one at a node, but it comes up and then it forms the collar where the blade starts versus the leaf sheath, and that's what we call the leaf collar. And you'll notice if you follow this bigger leaf down, we can't see that collar yet, or it hasn't developed fully. And so that's what we're looking for when we're staging corn. So let's focus. So we call this a V4 corn plant. Even some of these other ones that are maybe a little bit smaller are still V4, but it looks pretty good. Definitely can tell it's a little bit not floppy. It's not curled up. You can see this leaf starting to curl a little. Some of that's wind. This one here is curled up. We're on the cusp of being dry. It's really suffering here, but we certainly wouldn't turn down some rain at this point. That's how fast things change. A week and a half ago, we were waiting for it to dry out to finish planting, and now we're to the point where it's like, yeah, we could use some rain. Now, it would be a little while before I would be like, okay, we're definitely being hurt at this point, but you can just kind of feel it in the rigidity of the plants and the look of them and stuff, that it's just starting to curl a little bit. So corn does that when it gets dry. It kind of rolls these leaves up, kind of like you can see this one doing. It helps protect that leaf surface, conserve some moisture, and it just sort of shuts down growing when it gets really dry. Now, we're not there yet, but looks good. The roots will kind of get into the moisture and keep growing. We're into those starter bands now. It's greened up a lot since like 2 weeks ago when it was 53 and cloudy all week. Just cool. The corn turned really yellow because it wasn't getting any sunshine. It wasn't growing very fast. Well, we've greened up a lot since then. It's going to continue to green up. We're into those starter bands, and in another 2 to 3 weeks, when the roots really develop, they'll get into the anhydrous nitrogen band, and then it will really take off. We're about 2 weeks away, I would say, a week to 2 weeks away from this corn getting into its rapid growth stage. But basically the corn will double in size every week until it's tasseled here. And doubling from this stage to the next week, yeah, we're probably there. Isn't a huge difference, but then once it gets to be this tall, and it continues to double. So starts growing really, really fast here. Overall, really happy with this field. We're gonna look at a couple other ones. I'll jump across the lane here and take a look at some wheat. I am pretty excited about our wheat crop. It's looked really good, and I think we're gonna have really good wheat. This is getting pretty tall. It's stretched out, waist high on me. That's really good. You can see all the anthers hanging off there. That's where the pollen was from. Now, this is well past pollination, so the fact that those anthers are still hanging on there is a little surprising, but we haven't had any rain to knock them off. So I guess it's not too surprising. But so here's the heads. That's where all the grain is going to be. I can try and pull apart one of those little spikelets and see if we can see some kernels, but I'm sure they're developing rapidly inside here. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Oh yeah, right there. Got some growing to do, but yeah, those kernels are developing. A little rain on the wheat would help out a lot as well. So we're in good shape. Crops all look really good at this point. But we go another week with no rain, then things will start going downhill. Fortunately, there's rain like for the next 5 days or something in the forecast, and tomorrow I'm supposed to get it. So hopefully it comes through. Came over to the first planted soybean field. These end rows are a little thin. At first I thought it was water damage, which over there it is, and then I got to looking here and I'm like, well, all the stems are there. Look at this. Those plants have all been nipped off by the deer. That is deer damage. Some of them are going to grow back. That's kind of interesting. So, all right, let's talk for a second. A little bit ago, I said sometimes stressing your beans early in their life isn't the worst thing, and it makes them grow and yield better. And that seems counterintuitive, but I'm going to show you why. And maybe some of you have heard in the past of people trying to burn their beans with some herbicide, specifically Cobra, early in the growing season. There's several reasons for doing that. One of them is for some white mold control, but another one is to kind of to stress those beans early in their life, right? Occasionally you'll hear somebody that mows their beans off when they're small. And the reason you're trying to do that is to kill the terminal growing point, and then you can get the beans to grow from some secondary growing points rather than from the main bud up the plant. I can show you what I'm talking about. Look here. So this is a good, normal, healthy bean plant. We've got our two cotyledons down here. We've got our unifoliate leaves. We've got our first trifoliate leaves coming out. And then right underneath there, that's kind of the growing point of this plant where the new trifoliates are going to come out from. Now, what would happen if that trifoliate and that plant got nipped off right there? Well, the deer have done that on a lot of these. Look at this one. It came in, they nipped off that top growing point above the cotyledons. That's important, above the cotyledons. So the main growing point is gone, but we have secondary growing points at these cotyledons. And now look, instead of one set of trifoliates, we have two. And we have two main stems in two places for these plants to grow from and put more pods on. That can be really good. Now, whether these plants actually make it or not, and whether the deer come back in here and finish them off as they keep growing, who knows? But yeah, this one's a little farther along. You definitely are seeing some of that additional growth from multiple growing points. That's kind of the theory, is that you can get two plants in one if you can kill the main growing point. But you got to do it without killing the entire plant, because you'll see this stem right here got nipped off below the cotyledons. It's dead. That one's not coming back from that. But we have several in a row here that are going to come back from it. So, I don't know, that's kind of interesting. But let's walk out here to where the deer haven't decimated our stand. Now, these beans have got a long ways to go, but hopefully within about 2 to 3 weeks, we start seeing some flowers out here. That's the goal, June 21st. If we can have flowers by June 21st, we should have pretty decent beans. I would love to see them earlier than that, but we didn't get them planted in March this year like I would have liked to. So you see we got a little bit of that drawstring effect here, just like that other field we looked at. But not bad. The first trifoliates are out, a little bit bigger than the other ones. Now, these were the first planted beans, so we expect that. This one here, the second trifoliate's pretty well expanded, so that one could be considered a V2 plant. This one's more V1. They're growing, it's just slow. But we haven't had any heat. Until yesterday, we've been very cold. Like, I don't know if we had seen 80 degrees yet until yesterday. Today it's nice and warm, but it's going to cool down again tomorrow as the rain comes through. So we have not had enough heat and sunshine to get our stuff to grow really quickly. And so the corn will keep progressing. You'll see it a little bit. The beans, they just kind of sit here. Sometimes you look at beans and you go through June and the first week or two of July and you think, man, they're not doing anything, they don't look very good. And then you walk out there the third week of July or fourth week of July and you're like, oh, these beans look pretty good. All of a sudden they grew. So it just takes some time. We got to develop a root system. We've got to get them to keep putting nodes on, keep stacking leaves and trifoliates. Everywhere there's a node is a place that we could potentially have flowers and pods later in the season. So we need to stack nodes right now. I'll take a look at our emergence flags. Did that last plant ever come up? Nope. Right here is the one gap that we had. I don't know if it was a skip or if it was a the plant never emerged, but that's where it was. The rest of them are all coming and look decent though. This is interesting. Here's a day 4 emerger versus a day 1. They don't look much different right now. This will be fun to follow. Got lots of variability, that's for sure. Some of my flags blew over. Or blew sideways. Wow, looks good. This corn's coming. Like, it's all growing and it looks decent. I think we're in pretty good shape here. I came over to that very last planted cornfield, the one where we had to use the 8R instead of the 8RX after I had our track issues. See if this corn's coming up. This is one of our muck pockets that we're standing in right here. Look at this. Look at this. This is why we hate the sprayer down here. This is can you even see it? That's the rut from Dad just driving the sprayer through. It was not wet when he did this. It's just the way this dirt is. It's so soft and fluffy. And I mean, you can see the trails that the plants are made. Look how much of a ridge we've got in the center of these rows from just running the planter through this soft dirt. I don't know if you guys can look at this and see all of the little organic matter pieces in here, the chunks of bark and decaying plant matter and all that stuff. Like the organic matter in this soil is in the 40% range, 40 to 45%. It's very different. So anyway, the corn looks pretty good. You'll notice we do have a lot of ragweeds. Now Dad sprayed this, so some of these are dying. Will continue to die. That one's dead, but we also have some new ones germinating, and it's going to have to get sprayed again. This is one of the reasons, the main reasons that we bought that drone sprayer, because it's terrible to bring the planter or the sprayer through here. You cut ruts, you about get stuck. You can see them up there from bringing it, and you know, every time you spray it, theoretically you're in the same tracks. Those get worse and worse and worse, not better. We don't want to do it. But boy, to spray this little 5-acre patch with the drone sprayer would take nothing. It would be super easy. So if any of you have any connections with the FAA and want to have them issue my license or the exemptions that I need in order to actually fly the thing, you know, I would appreciate it. No, actually probably stay out of it. Just don't bring any attention to it. Just let them do the process, and hopefully we get it soon. But I can't fly it until I'm legal to do so because, well, it only takes one of you guys to say, hey, he's not doing it legally, and then I'm in a world of trouble, and I'm not going to do that. So we're going to wait until we get our license to fly that. This is what it is. But I've got everything in place except for my 137 exemptions or whatever the number is. I don't remember. But anyway, let's look at the corn. Let's look at the corn. So this corn was planted on, was it a Monday? 2 weeks ago, yesterday, I think it was. And you can see it's all up, it's all here. We are at a V1 stage. We have just one of those little leaf collars on that very first leaf. It's got some growing to do. We can't side dress this yet. We'll bury this corn for sure, especially in this soft, flowy dirt. That's not going to work. But the stand looks good. It's all here. If we can keep the weeds under control, we got a good crop. How quickly the color of the soil changes from this nice dark black high organic matter stuff to, whoop, there's our moderate, at least has some color to it, to look up there in the sun where it's just yellow clay. Very little organic matter. It changes really, really fast here. Even this right here, right where we're standing, is totally different than at the bottom of this little hill right here. And the corn's still here, still looks pretty good. Nothing I am concerned about. V1 corn, but yeah, now it's hard and I can't just grab it quite as easy. It's chunky. That's amazing how much it changes. Anyway, I'm happy with it. Everything looks good. It looks like it's supposed to. It just needs some time. I have not been back down to Berkey since the corn's been coming up. I expect it to look very similar to this since it was planted the same day to the day before. What I would really like to have happen, though, is that we finish side dressing this before we go back to Berkey to side dress there, because if I can do that, then I can leave the anhydrous bar down there, bring the grain cart back with the tractor when we are making the trip back, and it saves us a trip. So that's the plan, but this corn's got to grow a little bit, which is why we're not side dressing now. The corn needs to grow. It's not ready yet. Right across the road from that field was one of the late planted bean fields. Now, this was not the last planted bean field, but it was in that same window when we were planting that corn. I'm trying to remember exactly how that worked. Maybe a little bit after that. Anyway, these beans are coming. They're just unfurling the cotyledons and opening up those unifoliate leaves. And they've got a little ways to go, obviously. But stand again looks pretty good. Still got some gaps. Ugh. You can see we got an emerged plant way up here, and then we see nothing till we get right there. Oh no, that's a weed. Till we get right here. But I would be willing to bet there's a lot of beans just below the surface here. There's one. There's one. There's one. That just haven't had enough time to get out of the ground, and a little bit of rain on these would make a big difference. There's one I just broke off right there. So not worried about them at all. Everything will be fine. There is down there another one of those big muck pockets. Phil did not plant that when he planted this field. It was too wet. That's one of the spots he had to go around. Down there, other side of the ditch, maybe over there a little bit. But he came in here this morning with the disc and worked it, opened it up, and he's letting it air out. Plan is to plant it tomorrow morning before the rain gets here, and that'll kind of be the end of the soybean planting for us, unless we do some double crops. You guys see this? 4 o'clock p.m. I'm sitting in front of my computer. We're finally getting uploaded from yesterday. 5 minutes left. It just uploaded, it's processing. It's 4 o'clock. I'm sorry for the late post in yesterday's video, because I uploaded that at 11 o'clock at night like I always do from my phone, and I woke up this morning and it was like 10% uploaded, and so I deleted it and tried to re-upload it like 3 times this morning and trying to figure out what the heck was going on and why it wouldn't go. And it was like my phone was pausing the upload every time I turned my screen off, and I have not changed any settings and did not tell it to do that. So then I thought, well, fine, I'll just upload it to a Google Drive. Well, my first thought was I'll plug in a cord and transfer it to the computer, and then I thought, and then I was having trouble with that working. The cord wouldn't connect and it wouldn't let me transfer files, so I'm like, well, I'll upload it to my Google Drive and then download it to my computer and then upload it to YouTube. And I started working on that, and that was taking forever too, so I found a different cord, and eventually I got it on the computer and I started uploading it from here. That was like 4 hours ago, and it's just finally getting uploaded, and it's only a 17-minute video. It's not even that long. I don't understand. YouTube's being a pain today. It's taken me an extra 8 hours to get the video uploaded that I meant to do this morning, so I'm sorry. Our rain machine is still running. I have not been to the field today to go and look at it at all, but just kind of been watching it from my phone. And it's covering, these are really long passes here, going clear back to the river. It's covering a lot of acres in not a lot of passes. So we're making our way across the field. Let's see, what are we on? We're on, it's day 3, but it was started sort of late in the evening, or towards the evening, so it's been not quite 3 full days to get to this point. I would guess we're over, that's got to be 90 acres. No, it's got to be more than that. There's 170 in the field total. We're more than half, because once it gets to here, these rows get real short real fast. There's like 20 acres in this little bit, so yeah, I would say 2 more days is what it would need to finish, which would be 5. I said 5 to 6 to start with, so that would be about right. But yeah, we're 100 acres into that field, I would guess, somewhere in that ballpark. So we've got another ball game tonight. It's going to be a windy one, it looks like. I'm quite warm, but we'll deal with it. Anyway, I'm going to run home and get ready for that. I got to do a quick baking video for the other channel here. It is strawberry season here in southern Michigan. Just started. Today was day 2 of picking at my local strawberry place. And so I ran over and got some berries, and we're gonna make some strawberry pie today, and it's gonna be delicious. So if you guys are interested, go check that out. It'll come out on Thursday, so tomorrow for those of you watching this on Wednesday when it comes out. Anyway, I did film a little bit more with the 360 rain yesterday, some drone footage while I was up there. I did not put it in yesterday's video because, well, it was late and I was tired and I didn't want to edit it. So I'm going to do that today. We'll throw that in on the end of this one. But it was good to get out and check some crops and see a little bit of stuff today. Tomorrow, I don't know what all we're going to do. We might try and make it to Berkey. Problem is, I have a 1 to 1:30 meeting with my John Deere people about our tracks and that whole situation. So we're going to learn a little bit more about what they think and they want to do and whatever else they want to talk about. I don't really know. They kind of set this meeting up and didn't give me a lot of details. So I think Phil's going to finish planting the last little bit of beans. There might be 10 acres or something that he wants to do, so he might need some bags of beans to patch in a few spots. We'll get that around. I doubt we'll pick up any boxes, but maybe. And our bins are going up at Berkey. I'd love to go down and see that. So anyway, here's your drone video. Have a great night. We'll see you guys tomorrow.